Okay. I think next we have Tottenham. I think maybe before like 2 weeks back or 3 weeks back, if you would have asked anyone, who is the like who has done the best at the transfer window, I think Tottenham would be the
Yeah,
ones that everyone would point to. And to
They
begin
pulled out
with,
all their deals initially very quick.
exactly,
mm,
exactly. They got most of the big deals done pretty early in the window, and that's
Yeah.
given them a full preseason with all of their signings in the team. And I think we can see the effect of that already with the players like especially like Perisic,
Yeah.
Bissouma, Richarlison, of course, being their big signings. Apart
yeah,
from that, even Fraser Foster was they signed
They
Lenglet.
confirmed Romero also, the
yeah. He was
defender,
on loan
which
last year,
was,
and they confirmed.
yeah,
Yeah, they converted, and finally they signed this young talented youngster Udogi from
Gen.
Udinese for like 20 million. Um, so guys, like, what are your thoughts on Spurs, and do you see them, moving sort of out of that Spursy image that they have with a more serious manager, and the club really backing him, and the team really moving from strength to strength? What are your thoughts on their window?
yeah. So the new factor they have right now is Conte. But the
Hmm.
issue with Conte is he builds a team for a couple of years and then he just leaves them out to dry. He'll win a couple of trophies, but
Hmm.
then Mourinho had that promise. Mourinho couldn't do anything, which was they sacked him right before uh,
The final,
Carabao Cup
yeah.
Final cup
final, which
final.
was stupid in my opinion.
I felt
But
on that, I read that it was something to do with a
Losses.
contractual
Yeah,
clause that if
Mourinho would
he
get
would have
paid
won
if
a
he won.
trophy. Yeah, exactly. So I think they just want to
yeah,
cut
that
their losses as soon as possible.
It's a Levy, man. What do you expect? Daniel Levy is the most.
Yeah, but exactly, to see that man who didn't want to, give his team a chance of winning a trophy and prioritize saving the whatever 6-8 million that he would have to pay
Yeah.
Mourinho. From there to, going all out and backing Conte with, pretty much whatever he wanted. Do you
yeah.
see like that shift in the image, and will this now make Tottenham a serious destination for like the top tier talent in the world?
Yeah, I think that's already evident with the Richarlison move. They paid 60 million for him. I think the last
Hmm.
time Spurs paid that much for a player was for Ndombele, and Ndombele wasn't anywhere near that level.
Yeah,
Like
was
even
They
before
moved
arriving to
Ndombele out
Spurs,
as a loan also.
yeah. So even before arriving, Ndombele wasn't worth that much, and even after his Spurs career, short Spurs career, he isn't that much. That's a good player in there somewhere,
Mhm.
obviously. But with Richarlison, at least you know what you're getting. So let's say if Kane or Son get injured, Richarlison directly fits in. He doesn't need to adapt. He doesn't. He knows the league, and he already has that Conte spirit in him. And, the
Yeah,
dog Conte kind of dog spirit in him. And
and also like with him, like his versatility will be key, that he can play on the left, right, or deputize for Kane. So
exactly,
that way he's like, although they paid maybe 20 million more than what
Yeah,
I would say he's worth. But they've sort of signed a player who can do multiple things, and he is that kind of guy who will die for the shirt and really
yeah,
show the passion that the fans really appreciate. Um,
he's also a shithouse when you think
yeah,
yeah,
about
well,
it.
that I feel like that really adds to the entertainment of the game,
exactly.
and at the end of the day, we're watching football to sort of be entertained, and
Yeah,
he does that.
It's very unlike Spurs, all these signings. Like
Hmm.
they've been very shrewd
yeah,
signings, quality signings, and players who are proper shithouses as well, which is what you need sometimes when you want to challenge for the league or challenge for top four places and
True.
not bottle it like Spurs do every year almost,
Hmm.
except for last year maybe. So like as I'm seeing the transfers, Bissouma is a tremendous signing.
Yeah.
Although they haven't played him, I think every week, but he is a tremendous signing. He did exceedingly well for Brighton, and I
True.
think a number
yeah.
of clubs were after his signature. I think Arsenal and even Chelsea was after his
Liverpool
True,
signature.
it was,
also
and
Liverpool
that
as
too, they
well.
signed him only for like, it was like 20 million,
Yeah,
30.
25
Yeah,
million.
30
And, I
million,
was really
ridiculously.
surprised that no other team, sort of came in for him, especially like, this was this like a signing of this kind would have been something that like a United or like an Arsenal could have really used right now. Like with especially we're seeing we're gonna speak about them, but like with Partey's injury and the
Yeah.
whole debacle that's caused, like Bissouma and getting him really early, and also I think with them coming in early and putting the money on the table, even Brighton would have been like this gives us enough time for us to go out and sort of sign a replacement.
Yeah.
They would have been more open to that move. Uh, but yeah, apart from that, what do you think about
Perisic.
Jet Spence and Longley? Anything do you think they can add to the team?
Longley, I don't know. You should be able to speak about him because you're a Barca fan. But
I am
Perisic,
I'm
he's already
I'm
slotted
just
into that left
so
wing back role,
true.
and
Yeah.
I'm
he
like
just slots
with
in perfectly.
especially for Longley, I'm just grateful that someone has just taken him off our hands and he is just
uh,
gone. And honestly, like when he came from Sevilla, he was a really good player, and for a while he was like our starting center back. But I don't know, it was just he couldn't adapt to the style of play, and like the with playing with the high line was not something that he was really comfortable with, and eventually he was just sort of catching dust sitting on the bench. So it's good that he's going to be go
Maybe he
out.
will do well in the back five with Conte's style of
Exactly, and
play.
I
yeah.
think like Conte is a really good defensive manager, and he is able to coach solid defenses and make average players look great playing in that back five. We've seen like with the likes of Victor Moses and even like Ashley Young and Darmian, even like
Yeah.
converting Perisic, who was like a winger, to one of the
A
best
left
like
wing
wing
back,
backs in
yeah.
the game. Um, I think yeah, that was like a really solid transfer window for them. And now I think Conte would feel like he has all the tools needed to get top four again and possibly go for a deep run in one of the cups. With the and also with the Champions League, I think he has enough depth and
Yeah.
quality to rotate his team without sort of fielding an average lineup anytime. So I think, yeah, really impressed. I think for me, I would give them like a solid A because I think they have addressed all of their issues. They signed
Yeah.
a great forward, a midfielder, both wing backs and a center back, a backup keeper, as well as a talent for the future. So they
Yeah.
basically won in each position. So I think it's a great window for them.
I'd agree as well. I'd go with a solid A because, like you said, they've addressed their positions. They've not gone over the top, and they've not done the typical Spurs thing of trying to make do with what they have either. They've
And
properly
yeah, I
addressed their
feel like
positions.
also the thing that was really surprised was that they were not being cheap in
Yeah.
the when they really found someone like Richarlison, like 60 million was a lot for him and he wasn't gonna be like a starting player. So them not being cheap and sort of being okay with spending that kind of money for a
Yeah.
player who's gonna be like a rotational option, I think it really showed that
Is it
Spurs
because
are ready to be a big team now.
is it because the stadium debt is like now easing off or something? Probably why
I
they
think
weren't
Could
able to.
be,
it's
yeah.
not the debt easing off. I think they're generating more revenue from the stadium.
Yeah. They
So
have like
Yeah.
other games as well, like NFL games and stuff.
exactly the NFL
The
Yeah.
games also.
concerts. Yeah.
Okay, and
Nice.
Uzair,
Yeah.
how would you grade them?
Yeah. Even I'd give them a solid A because now you can see that Spurs have an identity. It reflects Conte's personality onto the pitch.
True.
And but then you still see when you see Spurs, literally the only thing that you're scared of is Kane and Son.
Hmm.
Where you don't really have world class players to, would you say, imitate what they have. And Spurs, I don't think they still can. Kulusevski's up there, but
Hmm.
uh, yeah, Kane and Son hasn't been firing as much also, so
Mm.
that could be a drop off. But in terms of the transfers, yeah, I'd give them a solid A too.
Okay, perfect.